And this was in the pile. And I think, I was like, no, it's like not that great. Needs a lot of work. And it was another bass. It was like $60 for 2 basses. And they were both just trash. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. Originally, it came with a cool neck that had funky tuners and like no inlays. It was all messed up. And I was almost done setting everything up. And I put the strings on. I was like, oh, there's a really big bow in the neck. Let me adjust the truss rod. And there was no truss rod nut. It was broken. Oh. And so that's why it has this other neck that I got from some unknown brand in China and had it like finished and did the frets and stuff. So it's a Partscaster Now. Mothership Gear. Mothership Gear. I got no pizza on my face.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Mothership Gear. I'm back with my friend Loren of Loren's Emporium, and today we have a unique bass because Loren kind of built this as a parts bass in his shed, attic, basement.
All of the above.
All of the above. The body is Japanese.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the body first, because this is a heavy bass.
Yeah, it feels like 12 pounds. This thing is crazy heavy. Probably plywood, maybe not even solid wood. Who knows? Because they were always cutting costs for kind of cheap basses back then.
What year do you think the body is from?
Probably the 60s or the 70s.
That's awesome. So I didn't know that there was Japanese style, because what would that be considered, a jazz bass or a P bass style body?
Jazz bass body, jazz bass pickups, where you got the 2 single coils for your middle neck position and then your bridge position.
And then what was the headstock? What did that originally look like from a logo perspective?
Gosh, it said something like Mathias or Mateo.
Oh.
There was like so many different names. Like the big brands were like Tysco.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably just an offshoot, another little brand, and maybe a store put whatever logo they wanted on it. It had a Fender shape.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was in like the lawsuit era.
And then how did you find it? Because you bought it originally with the body and the neck attached. So it was just a complete bass when you bought it.
Yeah. I don't think it had any knobs or screws. No strings. An acquaintance of mine who I've purchased guitars from off OfferUp. That's where I got the Fender Bullet bass, the yellow one that we did an episode
that one's
with.
Awesome.
This guy, Ben, I bought that bass and I was like, well, if you ever find projects, like call me first,
Right.
Trying to get in before any other OfferUp scalpers.
Right.
And so he'd text me every couple of months and be like, hey, I got some cool guitars. You want them? And this was in the pile. And I think, I was like, no, it's like not that great. Needs a lot of work. And it was another bass. It was like $60 for 2 basses. And they were both just trash. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so the one is like a Yamaha bass with water damage. I just put it up on Facebook and said free. Like, just take it away. And then this one I, put a little more work into because I thought it would be salvageable.
Right. And yeah, and now it has a home with our friend Kristina, and so we're filming an episode on it. So what kind of strings did you put on it?
These are Diodario Chromes, flat wound, so it has like a nice smooth feel. So you can get a little like, you roll off the tone and you get like a dark sound. And then you can roll it up. These are new, so you can still get a lot of bright tones out of it too. And that's both the pickups, just the neck. Bridge pickups are really quacky. And then both, it's kind of like a probably hum canceling. Maybe one's like in reverse. So when you're using both, it's nice and quiet.
Yeah. And so if someone was to buy, if they found this, what did you say it was, Mateo or
I think it was Mathias.
Mathias, if they find a Japanese Mathias jazz bass from the 60s or 70s online with the neck, with the pickups already all working together, what did those go for?
I would think that a Fender copy from the 60s and 70s is worth maybe 150 to 350, depending on how nice and like set up it is. If it needs some work, obviously you want to do a little lower. The less work, the higher the price. But they plays and feels good, and you get a lot of cool vintage vibe without the expensive price tag of a 60s Fender bass.
Right. And then as far as the Chinese neck, like where does that come from? How do people say they're in a similar position as you, where they have a bass that needs some TLC and maybe the neck snapped or whatever happened to yours, or water damage? Where do you find a Chinese neck?
Here's the trade secret. You go onto eBay and you put in, Fender style bass neck and sort it from low to high and find the cheapest one you can. And I think this neck was $60, but it's unfinished. So I took it to a guitar refinishing shop, Bravo's Custom Guitars, and they put on a nice like satin professional finish. And then I did a fret level and dress and adjusted the truss rod so it plays good, filed the nut. So buyer beware. If you buy the cheapest neck on China or on eBay from China, it could show up completely unplayable, and unless you know what you're doing, you'll have to take it to a luthier, and that'll cost more money in the long run. So roll the dice, but not a huge investment if you want to learn how to kind of set up a bass neck.
Right. So what exactly did you do to the frets? You said you did some process to it. What was it?
Yeah, you adjust the truss rod so there's a little bit of relief. So it's a kind of a small bow. If it's too flat, the strings will buzz too much. Or if it's too bowed, the action will be too high. The strings will be too high. So you'll adjust the neck, and then a nice level and dress. You'll crown them so they're not flat and that the frets are rounded. If the fret is too big when you fret a note, it could be either sharp or flat, but if it comes to a nice point, it makes the perfect note in tune. And then you gotta file the nut so that the string fits in, and then there's not too much room from the first fret to the string.
Okay.
Otherwise, when you press down, it'll be sharp.
So there's a lot more work to just buying the cheapest neck on eBay and snapping it onto your bass.
Yeah, you could do that, and you might be lucky that it works well enough.
Right.
But to get a professional playing instrument, I guess that's your trade-off, is the knowledge and skills that you learn from working on little guitars gets you the ability to purchase stuff for cheaper.
Right. Because you have the knowledge, the skills, the craftsmanship to DIY. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. If you guys like this episode, we also did a Partscaster that was a bit more in the price range of about $1,200 that you put together. And we've done other basses. We've brought in a lot of basses by now. So yeah, lots of cool, unique stuff, made in Japan stuff for you to check out. If you guys want to buy stuff or have Loren fix up some of your stuff, Loren's Emporium, right? Where do they connect with Loren's Emporium?
Yeah, anywhere online. I'm on Reverb if you're looking to buy. OfferUp, Facebook. Usually I run everything off of Instagram, Loren's_Emporium.
Right. So follow Loren. And then if you guys like the show, Mothership Gear, we try to have weekly episodes. So keep an eye out for that. Subscribe here. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of Made in Japan basses. And if you have any cool stories about putting some Partscasters together. And we will see you guys next time. Later. Bye.